We are live. Oh, today's Thursday. Hey, I guess I'm hosting today. Oh, look at me. All right, we are live. So, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of Phoenix in the South End, and we are here to be able to give you the idea that when we do network marketing, we do this every week, and the whole idea is to be able to give each other the sort of the trail that if we're looking for certain clients, looking for certain people, even sometimes people when they're looking for staff, they're looking for people to do work within them. So trying to find the right people for their team. Sometimes they'll put the word out, and usually within a few days, we could help find the right person for you. Especially Bernie. I mean, he's contacted to so many people. He is the go-to guy for looking for anyone who can do anything in your business, whether it's AI, whether it's something that you need. He's got a very successful podcast that talks about the people that actually do that kind of work. So when he gets that kind of reputation, he's the go-to guy to find if you want to get work done. So we just want to go a little bit into our Phoenix site, just to give you an idea of how we're doing. The whole idea here is in pbex.ca, we try to communicate to the public that if you have a business, if you have something you'd want to say, a message you want to get out there, nothing beats being able to talk to people. I mean, yeah, social media is great to send the messages out, but in the end, they have to talk to people, actually full-blooded people that have the expertise to do whatever it is you want done. And Phoenix has that. We draw from some of the best the coaches and the best people that have the work ethic that we could really make a difference. So, when people want services of any kind, they have two questions in mind. Number one, whether or not you can do the service that they need, and number two, are you the right person to do the job? And that's what we do when we look at BAMs and the things like that. So in our site, we try to highlight various people throughout the week. This week, we're going to be highlighting Q. She's been with Phoenix. Oh my God, it's been at least 7 or 8 years, almost since the very beginning, Q. And she's been an amazing lady. And we've seen her evolution through the years. In that. So if you want to take a little look at her, there's her video. And she has an e-card, which all Phoenix members get when they join. So they can use it in social media, and just to make it that much better, so that she's part of something that is really great. We have 5 chapters, basically. We've got our Monday, Wednesday, Thursday group, which is usually from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we can have people from different parts of the world coming in, like Kat. She's coming in from Scotland. And it's wonderful to be able to get this global touch out there, because sometimes we got to go way out, and we had to go all the way to Scotland to get somebody fantastic, at least in that particular field. So we're really blessed to have Kat. So she's really a master in business orientation, guiding your businesses through not only in social media, but just to strategize your business so it's no longer just one of those things. So we also have our midday group, which is a new group that we've opened up, and we're trying that particular strategy. So something during the day, if it's better than the morning, because sometimes morning can be pretty hectic with getting kids off to school, or just have morning meetings, that kind of thing. But the afternoon might be open for many people. So if you know of a business that can't do the mornings and would like to be able to network, our Thursday group would be a nice option. And there's no charge for this particular group until we get going. So you can certainly drop in to see how that's doing. That's going to happen today at 1 o'clock, okay, Eastern time. And we have our after hours group, which is our mastermind. It's a next one is October the 7th at 7 p.m. in the evening. And it's we talk about our goals and stuff. And these are mostly many of the activities that are going on. We got Penny Lee has her potluck going on. We've got Bernie doing his East Trade Winds every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I do my meditation classes every Friday at 1:30. And I have a sound bath coming up on October the 29th, right near the end of the month. We also have, I also wanted to show you something here, because when we talk about bringing in members and getting an opportunity to find out how we can grow the group, one of the things we always want to look at is the type of class of people we're looking for in terms of professions, all right? We are looking for a home inspector, home appraiser, a locksmith, a roofer, anything in the home group. In this particular group, we have Norm. He's our handyman, and he has a plethora of jobs that he cannot do. Like, a person would mention while he's in the house, do you know of a locksmith or do you know of a plumber? And it would be sure nice to be able to give it to a Phoenix member. So if you know of somebody who's like that in that area, give them a dingle and maybe have them come into one of our classes or one of our meetings here, and to be able to look at things. There's a carpet cleaner, a water pump services, eaves trough. I know carpet cleaning that's come to think of it. I've had a couple of requests for that myself. Another one we're looking for is financial planners. We're looking for perhaps an investment company, whether it's in stocks or bonds. I'm not sure if Q does something of that nature, but we're looking at also commercial insurance. Home and auto insurance is a big one. Everyone's got a place to live and everyone's got a car. So that's a big category. I would sure like to fill that one. And then regarding health, there's a whole plethora here of the different things that we could use for that category. A fitness center like Movati would be great. Naturopathic doctor. We had that one filled for a while, but hopefully we'll get that filled again. And anything to do with lawyers. Now, the lawyer that we had with Redmond, he got so busy. This is some things that Phoenix does extremely well. Sometimes we make people so busy they don't have time to come to the meetings anymore. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But the firm that we're kind of looking for is there's any business that is not only would do what they do, but also they have a marketing department or somebody that can always come into the meeting if we double or triple their sales. If it's the guy that's coming in that's doing the work, it doesn't actually seem to work. That formula seems to be, we keep hitting the same thing. While they're coming in, they have the time, and then the moment they start getting business and they start getting busier, we don't see them. So like a larger type of company, any company, even a hairdresser, if the person that's coming in actually does the hair, we may have to ask, okay, who's going to come in if you can't make it? Because we want to be able to get your business represented, all right? The odd time, I mean, when Eric signs a big deal, absolutely, business or family comes first, But the idea here is be able to get them so that we can keep sending you business because you're always represented. Always have a substitute. Always have somebody that could be able to be there while you can't be. All right. We'll go right into our words of wisdom, and today Eric Perron has a few words for you. Okay, Eric, go ahead.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So currently I'm reading a book that's pretty well titled. I can't say it all. It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. If you've never heard of the book, it's anyway, it's a bestseller. It's really good. And I thought, you know what? I got to read this thing. I gotta get out and read it. So a couple of things. Well, I've got one of those Kobo e-readers, and I like it because you can highlight the text, and then you can go back to those highlights and do your review and whatnot. So one of the things it says is problems never stop. They merely get exchanged or upgraded. Happiness comes from solving problems. The key word is solving. If you're avoiding your problems or feel like you don't have any problems, then you're going to make yourself miserable. If you feel like you have problems that you cannot solve, you will likewise make yourself miserable. The secret sauce is in solving the problems, not in having problems in the first place. Not in not having problems in the first place. So there's a couple of other things that I'm going to highlight there in a second, but what it sort of teaches us is that, we in society, we always, especially social media, we're always trying to make it look like we don't have problems. We're trying to, like, depression is basically because people are trying to avoid problems. And the more we avoid problems, the deeper and deeper and deeper we get into that avoidance pit. And then what happens is that these problems become unsurmountable. And then we feel like we have all the problems. And oh my God, look at that person down the street or on social media. They don't seem to have any problems. They have that perfect life. But they don't. They don't. Like, what's happened in business is that everybody has problems, everybody has issues. But it's the people that get out there and say, you know what, in spite of those problems, I'm going to do what I need to do to solve those problems. And that is where the happiness starts happening. The happiness is where, and the fear that we talk about in business, personal, whatever, is the fear is just the absence of information. So in my role, as an example, this is crazy, but it's very, very interesting. I went to a building yesterday with some new clients. Hadn't met the clients yet, hadn't gone to the building yet. We're like, well, let's just go and see it. Let's see what happens. Price point has gone down, down, down. Commercial on the first floor and like 3 units in the back. Well, there was literally a crackhead came out of one room that was part of 3 bedrooms, that was part of one of the apartments, that was part of the building entirely. So it was just like a wow factor. My client was pregnant, and I see the basement, and I'm like, wow, it's full of mold. I don't think you should be going down there. So we didn't know what we were faced with, but now we were faced with potential problems, right? But we didn't know what the problem was until we actually saw it, until we see it face to face, and until we figure out a solution for it. The solution is we either walk away or we figure out, hey, how can we buy this building and make it a building that they're looking for their particular usages. So all that to say is that the art of not giving an F is saying, listen, I'm going to stand here, and if I have a problem, then I'm going to deal with it. And I'm not going to worry about what the result is once I have solved that problem. You're not solving the problem in order for the problem to necessarily going away. You're just standing there and solving the problem. So that action of solving the problem is what's going to make you happy. That's the art in itself, not the result after that problem has been resolved, because you don't know what that result is. You have no idea what that result is going to be until you find further information. So that goes to the entrepreneurs in all of us, is that when we have clients, what's an entrepreneur? What is an inventor? An inventor is simply somebody who takes something and solves somebody else's problem. The problem is the plumbing doesn't work, you hire a plumber. The problem is I don't know who to speak with, I'm speaking with Bernie. The problem is, I need financing, there's Jacqueline, I'm going to deal with it. The problem is if I die, I'm going to have lots of debt. Well, there's Q in there. The problem is my car's not working properly, I don't know what to do, I'm going to go see Sam. So the issue is you're always going to have problems. And so just reach out, figure out where you got to go, and go solve somebody's problem. But when you're doing it as an entrepreneur, you never do it for yourself. You always give the advice out, but you don't do it for yourself. It's like any specialized person, right? So make sure that you are doing that for yourself, not only in your personal stance, but in your business. Always be looking for, how can I solve this problem? And you don't have to solve it. What you have to do is take the action of trying to solve it. That's the happiness. That's the foie gras, or whatever you want to call it. So there you go. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I kind of rambled down there.
Thank you very much, Eric. That's so true. That's so true. Sometimes when you look at people lifestyle from our end, it looks like they got no problems. Everything. They got a car, they got the boat, they got the house, and they got no problems. But it's the other end when we are coaching them, and then they start to show really what's going on, and it's they're unhappy, and there's just stuff going on that we have no idea. It's so true. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, well, let's go right into our introductions, and right now we got basically the 1st of August or October, and if you got any figures for September of the any new business that you've done with somebody, give us some figures. We're now hovering at just over 160,000. Our target is around 200,000 for sure, and we're on target for that. Just let us know what kind of sales that you've done. We don't need specifics as far as that. We just want to be able to measure if somebody's given you a referral and it worked out okay, and that we can add that to the totals. Okay, and okay, let's start with Q. Go ahead, Q.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, a little louder. I can barely hear you.
Good morning.
Yep. That's
Okay.
better.
Good morning. My name is Q, and I'm the insurance lady of the group. And today I want to touch on what getting life insurance actually means. It means that your loved one would be protected financially. There's peace of mind that you plan for the unthinkable. It's the ability to create multi-generational wealth. And it's a final love letter your family would receive from you. And I'm here to protect your financial peace of mind when you need it most. And it can be used, it can be through the use of life, critical illness, disability, health and dental, and travel insurance. Q from World Financial Group, where there's no family left behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Q. Any BAMs that you've had? Okay. And okay, over to Jacqueline.
Hey, good morning, everyone. On this, I'm going to say it's a frosty kind of day. It feels frosty when you go from plus 30 to whatever it is right now. And so that, is it? Thanks, Sam. And so it was a beautiful deep breath that I took as I looked at the sun, because it's a beautiful day. I lifted my shoulders. Oh, I took them back and I released them down. And I thought that every breath is an option. Every breath is a new consideration. Every breath I take allows me to say, there's always something new. There's something waiting for me. And with every single breath, I know that I inhale exploring and I exhale everything I don't need. So drama, I don't need. I exhale that out. When I inhale, it's love and light, and I know what I can do because I've got people who will support, and I have people who I support. It is extraordinary when you look at a beautiful, bright sun and you think life can be really amazing. I was going to say that F word, Eric. I was going to say that F word, but I didn't. It is amazing when you decide there's people there. After you take that breath, it's not so hard to exhale. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, hun, you got to call your mortgage honey.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And any BAMs over the last week?
Just Tuesday with East Trade Winds. And thank you again, Sam, for all the information you gave me. I felt like $1,000,000 when you said the blueberry's in good condition. She needs some lipstick, but that's okay. And Kat, I'm sending you some information. When you were saying, hey, it'd be nice to send it, I have 4, not 1, not 2, but 4 workshops that I'm doing that I need to send to you. I'm excited. All about money, yoga, and breathe a little deeper.
Awesome. That's great. Oh, also fiber starts with F. And fun. We put the fun back in dysfunctional. Okay. And over to Sam.
Thank you, Tony. Morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to each and every one of you. There's my contact information in the chat. Connected cars is my business. Do dash cameras, things like that. Like I helped Q's husband's vehicle, his new vehicle, put that new dash camera in for that one. Also do minor repairs, oil changes, and brake jobs. These days I'm talking about proprietary information. Newer cars now are starting to come out with proprietary software that you can't access the diagnostic information. If you're going to go out there and buy a new car, you might want to check if the company that you're looking at that buying your vehicle has that, because it's going to cost you more when it comes to doing repairs on that vehicle. Because with that proprietary software, each time a person like myself goes in the diagnostic, find out what's wrong with the car, they're going to charge for that access. So be aware of that, and make up your decision one way or another. Let's see here. Bams wise, yes, Jacqueline was here to see me this week. Took a good look at Blueberry, and her brakes were fantastic. Gave a couple suggestions. And how much did I charge you for that, Jacqueline?
You charged a smile.
Oh,
Exactly.
I have one of those.
I
A whole pocket full of
So I didn't
those.
charge a thing for that. So be aware of that, I will give estimates, and I will take a look at someone's vehicle just to do a favor for you. So don't be afraid to contact me. I will take a look. Let's see here. Bernie, hopefully this Saturday, I'm going to be putting that fender liner in his wife's vehicle. Let's see here. Malcolm, yes, old Phoenix member. I did brake job on his vehicle. And last but not least, Wendy Chum gave me a referral to someone that lives fairly close to me here, and I took a look at their vehicle and gave them some estimates. So that's it for me. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics about the cost of the vehicle, and as you can tell, a lot more.
That is so great. Thank you very much, Sam. And the idea is it's great that former Phoenix members are still coming to you. This is a great testament that as we start bringing more people into this group, and if for whatever reason they move, they change their category, whatever, and then they leave, they still end up coming back and still doing business with you. So this is great. It's a great residual. So that's awesome. Also wanted to keep you in mind that on the Phoenix calendar, if you go to the calendar itself, it has a lot of the home shows and just the different events around town. So sometimes it's hard to find a calendar that has those shows. So if you're setting up some kind of a class or something targeting women, it is not probably a good idea to schedule that particular class at the same weekend that the women's home show is on, because there's 20,000 women going to those things, and so it's just a nice to be able to do that. So we've programmed a lot of the like a boat show, auto show, that kind of thing in that kind. If you know of any shows that we might have missed, let us know. We'll put that in there. We want it to be a very comprehensive a calendar that way, so that our Phoenix members can be able to use it as a reference, and it's a good way to be able to check those things out. So over to Eric.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So I'm Eric Perron, your real estate advisor with England Volkers Ottawa. As I mentioned earlier, what do we do? We make sure that we open doors. We find out what the problems are in buildings. We find out what problems are in homes. We find out what's the best location for you. What's most important to you? Is it being near schools? Is it being near religious buildings and worship? Is it commuting? I have quite a few clients right now where their major reason for moving is just simply for commuting. They're commuting an hour and they want to make sure that, one person is half an hour, the other one is another half hour. We're setting things up where we're letting people know what the market is probably going to be able to bear for your market. We're seeing at least 40% of the residential homes are reducing their prices every 30 days. They might not be reducing by crazy amounts, but usually, to be honest, when you're reducing your price point, you need to be reducing it by probably 5%, because if you're not getting any offers, that means your price is just too high. And what's happening in the Ottawa market is very interesting. Sellers always say, oh, but if I price too low, then I'm going to, I won't get all the money that I should be getting. Well, you never get the money if you don't have an offer in the first place. So that's one thing. If a home is listed too low for sale, it means it is technically for sale in that market, meaning you're going to get multiple offers. A house doesn't sell $100,000 less than it should with only one buyer knocking on the door. That just never, ever, ever happens. And the last thing I'll say is that the average sale on the Ottawa real estate market in most markets is that whatever the listed price is, it's usually going to sell. If it's going to sell anything less than that price, it's only going to sell for 1 to 3% less. So you really cannot underprice your home on any particular market. It's just impossible to do. So when you're looking for honest advice, when you're looking to get through all the marketing of what you see on Instagram and TikTok and all that other jazz, make sure to reach out. I'll be happy to give you all the real information and what you need to actually sell. And then when you're actually buying, give you all the information that you need to make an informed decision and when to buy. I'm Eric Perrin, your real estate advisor with Engel and Volkers, Ottawa.
Awesome, Eric. That's great. And any BAMs that you've done over the last
Nothing this week, no.
Okay, cool. And Mr. Bernie, you're up.
Yes, I do have that.
Yes. Keep warm.
So folks, Creative Insight is a business concierge. Connect the dot, for lack of better words. You just would have noticed prior to me posting my contact details, I talk about got a mug in hand, freshly brewed coaching. That's an example. That's my co-host Wayne Pratt launched a book. And it's all about helping you along in your business journeys, to help you focus on stuff, go through the internal strife that does happen. Now, also you'll notice part of that something about Cyberhoot and personal training on how not to click that wrong link. So those are things that are kind of universal fits, and a lot of these folks, actually most of the folks, are already on the Knack for Business podcast, and we are cruising. We have about 380 that have been posted. So we'll be having 400 by the end of season 3's posting cycle. And we already started recording season 4. And Eric, you're coming up soon. You're one of the last few in there, but you're coming up soon. So you'll probably show up in December. That's kind of how it's at least 3 to 4 a week. So
Eric for Christmas.
Yeah. Jingle bells. I'll make sure to put little, we won't put the what do you call that stuff that over the head? That green plant. Yeah, that's it. No toes for you. No toes for you. What else to tell you? Oh yeah, bam. Mr. Carl Richards has been a frenetic soul. He's connecting me with another person just in the last 24 hours, and I've had about 3 other previous introductions. So just to add to the stats. Over to you, Tony.
Perfect. Thank you, Bernie. That's great. Another note is we're looking for restaurants. The restaurants in many areas have really had a hard time after COVID, and it's a tough business. And salads and everything else that you notice. I'm not sure if you noticed that salads cost more than the meal sometimes, because it's just so expensive. So if there's a restaurant that is struggling, and I'd love to have them as a part of coming in the odd time just to see if there's any extra exposure that we can give them. One of the things that we will do is if we have an event that's coming up, we might even schedule one right in their restaurant. That's happened before. There's one thing that comes to mind is our Korean chicken place on Bank Street, and we go there just to hang out, but it's a great place. And so, if you know of a restaurant that needs help, let us know. And I'm Tony Jennis. I'm the spirit guy of the group, of the group, and I'm a medium, clairvoyant, and I'm also a teacher. I'm a master teacher in frequency. I use those particular skills to be able to, from a frequency perspective, be able to give calm and be able to give a level of insight where people will just start feeling that they got more control in their life because their frequency is now at that point. If you're upset, if you're angry, if you're sad, those are all frequencies. It's not you. It's just that something is bothering you, and at a lower frequency, all kinds of things come in. We call it, getting into the seaweed, getting into lower parts of it. For instance, if you have sort of a fear about the lack of money, we don't have any money. And at the end of the month, there's never enough money to take care of all the bills. So you have the fear that there's an expiry date to whatever it is that you have. But that frequency, it actually keeps money from coming towards you. So by getting a tuning session, this is why many businesses, when they come to me, shortly after, usually within hours, their sales start going up. And it's not just me saying this, people say this all the time, is that soon after that I've had your tuning session, over that week, I had a record week. It's just people coming in. Some of my clients that were really hard to manage canceled, replaced by clients that were really great. And so, when things start changing again, then they'll come back for another tuning 2 weeks or a month later, that kind of thing. So that is a thing. When you are open, when your frequency is open to that kind of thing, things that will happen that you'll connect to clients easier, and they'll find you because now you become a magnet. You attract things out of the blue. When someone's on the internet looking for a realtor, what are the odds that they're going to be able to get Eric? Because Eric has a frequency that he just brings it in with very little work, where others will think, where am I going to get the next client? Eric says, when am I going to get the next opportunity to make someone's day? That's a frequency, and that's why he is one of the best in Ottawa. There are the realtors that are working pretty much 7 days a week and selling 2 homes, 3 homes a year. He does that in a month. So this is the real difference, is that when you're choosing that. And anyway, that's for that. I am also teaching on Sunday the very similar technique that I did last week, but we're using different frequencies for this. And I need one volunteer for Sunday at noon. If you know of anybody that wants to try a tuning session, you can have them come in. I need them here personally to my place. I can give you some more details if you want. Okay, so let's move on to our presenter of the meeting. And this, we always give one of our members more of an opportunity to talk about their industry, to talk about their business, more than in a couple of minutes or so. And this week we're featuring Kat Hurd. So Kat, take it away.
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to start with asking a couple of questions. How many of you have been to a networking meeting and listened to people deliver presentations or their infomercials and you've listened to them do it, you've got to the end and you've thought, what are they talking about? Because it's just not connecting with them. It could be because they have just talked and talked and talked and talked, or it could be their message is not clear. Okay. How many of you have come across this in an email that you've received, or when you've looked at somebody's website, somebody's social media platform, and you've read their content and you've gone, nope, I have no idea what this is? Anybody? Yeah. So this is kind of the problem. So when you have a business, you've done what Eric said, you've worked out what is the problem that you're trying to solve so that you can help people. So you've listened to that problem and you have created that solution. The problem then becomes, how do you get that to the people that need this problem solved? And people don't think about it. People are so busy and marketing seems to be something that a lot of people find stressful, or they just have a huge dislike for it. It's not comfortable for them because people don't like talking about themselves, and they don't like kind of going, hey, you need to use me because I'm amazing. So what people do is they put out messages, not just online, but when they go to networking, and it's garbled because in their head, they don't have this kind of clear message. So where we need to start is, who do we want to talk to? And how do we talk to that person? So rather than just jumping on a networking call or doing a social media post or whatever and saying, this is what I've got, and kind of brain dumping, what we need to look at is, who are we talking to and how do we communicate with those people, that audience? And then once we've done that, obviously, you write it, you check that it resonates with the audience you're going for, you obviously check the spelling, the grammar, etc., and you put out that. But it has to be consistent. There's no point in Sam writing an amazing post today that connects with his target audience if tomorrow he puts something out that everybody goes, what is this? Why all of a sudden is Sam promoting fish? It just doesn't work. So, sorry, Tony. It's one of those things that people don't think. So whenever you market your business, you need to kind of actively switch it on and think, okay, I'm in the shoes of my audience. So, I want to target people who have expensive tastes in cars because I want to sell them luxurious high-end dash cams. So that's who I want to talk to. So if you put yourself in those shoes, you're writing a message to that person, and all of a sudden it connects and people go, okay, tell me more about these dash cams. Why do I want to buy them? How do I buy them? And then you start getting all the kind of sales. But the major problem is people cannot do consistency across the board. So if you decide, I'm going to target, like, if I use Jacqueline as an example, I'm going to target workshop A. She then uses it on her social media, on her email newsletters, on her website. She has a feature. She goes to networking and she only promotes workshop A. It doesn't mean she can't have one-to-ones with people or BAMs and talk about the other stuff she does. But what you're doing is you're getting into people's heads. This is what I do. So obviously online, you're looking for people to buy into workshop A. But when you're going to networking calls, you're not only saying who on this call wants to come to workshop A, but you're saying who gets my workshop. So does Eric know somebody who would benefit from going to workshop A? Yes. So he's going to tell that person that's, to go to that, who's then going to tell somebody else. And you end up with a group of people because everybody on this call, they're your sales guys or women. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're clear. And if you go to a networking call and somebody rambles on or their messaging is just totally a disconnect for you, get hold of them, have a BAM with them and say, hey, I didn't quite get where you were coming from when you were talking about X, and get them to explain it to you. So not only that can you then share it with other people, but you can help them to make their messaging understandable by other people, if that makes sense. But also if you see them with a social post, you see an email that comes through, a billboard ad, a magazine ad from somebody you know, point out if something doesn't work, because we should all be sharing other people's content. We should be commenting and engaging with other people's content. And you're not going to do that if you have a disconnect because you don't know what somebody does or you don't know what particular item that they're kind of functioning or focusing on at that particular time. But you have to not only do that, but you have to be prepared to listen to other people and take on board feedback and constructive criticism. I mean, please don't call Tony and say, oh my God, you did an infomercial and it was dreadful. Don't do something like that. You might turn around and say, oh, you talked about your upcoming workshop this weekend. I didn't quite understand what it was for. Maybe next time when you pitch it, you can turn around and be a bit clearer on this particular element. Do you know what I mean? It's about being nice, kind, caring, considerate, and helping each other to get messages out there. And I'm going to come back to Jacqueline because she said I could be mean. So I'm going to be mean. So this is because I don't want it to happen to anybody else. So Jacqueline and I had a BAM a few weeks ago, and she was convinced that a previous workshop she was doing was out there, and she was going, I'm not getting anybody going to it. Nobody's signing up. It's just not working. Now, the reason it wasn't working was because it wasn't there. So she'd created it on, I think it was Eventbrite, but it wasn't very well marketed. So what you need to do is make sure that you're marketing what it is. So don't just go with, oh, I'm sure I did that. Write yourself a note. Make sure that you've gone and marketed what you think you've marketed. So if you've got a workshop, is it out there? How often is it out there? Where have you shared it? So don't just put it on your pages. Make sure that your friends are sharing it. You've put it in different groups. You've put it in your newsletters. You've invited people through events on Facebook or LinkedIn, depending on which platform you use. Just make sure it's visible in so many different ways. And if somebody says, like Jacqueline's told me now, I've got 4 upcoming workshops. So I can now be accountable to her or for her, so that if I don't get information because she wants me to share it for Phoenix, so if I don't get those workshops, I can go back to her and say, hey, I thought you were doing these workshops, where are they? Not because I'm trying to beat her with a big stick and turn around and say, you're doing your marketing terrible. It's because we're all trying to help each other. So somebody says they've got an event coming up. Look out for the marketing for it. If you don't see it, they maybe don't realize it's been missed. Or Facebook's terrible. Sometimes you've accidentally put the wrong setting. So something is a private post instead of a public post. So you may, it may be missing that way. I'm probably kind of preaching to the converted. I just sometimes think it's really important that we think about what we're doing, because each one of you does something that is incredible. You're all problem solvers. People need you to solve this problem for them. So please don't hide it. Please shout from the rooftops that you've got this business, you can help with life insurance, or you can help somebody get onto a podcast, whatever it is. And then get everybody to share it and invite people to follow your stuff. So you want them to follow you on social media. You want them to sign up to their e-newsletter. You want them to come and listen to you do presentations. You just want to talk to as many people as possible about how amazing you are and how much you can solve a problem that they're pulling their hair from, if that makes sense. Okay, I think I've done lecturing, Tony. So I'll give you it back.
Yeah, a lot that you say, Kat, is very true. Sometimes an event or what we want to do is clear in our own head, but I think we just think that it's clear for everybody. We can just say it and they get it. And does anybody have experienced this? Or yeah, you're on mute there, Jacqueline. If you do want to any feedback.
Well, as Kat let us know, I have absolutely experienced it. And interesting, it's not the pot calling the kettle black, but I've seen other people not divulge information the way that you could understand what they were saying. There was a conference workshop yesterday about AI, and the comments coming back from that opportunity wasn't just mixed. It was incredibly clear that impressed, incredibly unimpressed. And it was about the messages that were being sent, the messages that were being released. And so Facebook is Facebook, and people were commenting on it. And, unfortunately, I'd have to agree. They needed to do it differently. And they were speaking, I think, to the incorrect demographic.
Yeah, it's often the case, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I'll pipe in there too, Catherine. It rings a bell because I was using, well, different email services, let's say, for my clientele. And if I have, 300, 400, 500 people in my database, and I would send out a newsletter and I would send out something saying, hey, you know what, here's an event or here's a whatever. And I never really followed up on the phone. I never, ended up doing anything like that. And only several months later, I realized that the email service that I was using was unfortunately going directly into people's junk box. And I check my junk box because it's important for me to see if I've received an email or not. But on the personal side of things, if it goes into the junk, I will not see it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And so my business emails, which I had invited some clients to a couple of events, were simply not seen. And it was like, well, what do you mean you never saw this? Or you never responded, but I didn't want to get back in touch with you for a second or a third email because I didn't want to bug you and I didn't blah, 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 blah. And so sure enough, right? So you really do need to follow up with, especially for events, if you're emailing people, you do need to follow up with a phone call. And you need more follow-up. And then, like you said, you do need to check. I just had a marketing campaign and I sent something to one of our people. And a week later, he said, hey, I haven't received your Excel spreadsheet for the addresses. I said, yeah, I sent it to you. He's like, I don't think so. Check my email. Sure enough, I had not sent it. The file was ready to go. Everything was ready to go. And, luckily he reached out to me and luckily I was able to get it done. So yeah, second guess yourself. It's okay. It's not like you didn't fail, right? You only failed if you didn't look again. So good point.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I've had that where I've had an email going out, and something happens where I get distracted, and I think I sent it because I saw the finished email, and in my head I press send, and it's still sitting there. Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times. So, I'm wondering. I'm waiting for feedback to come in, and I'm not getting anything. It's just okay, but. Yeah, that happened, and that's just simple. That's just simple stuff. So when I didn't know that there are some email companies that go straight to junk mail. I just thought if you've never emailed this person, it might go into junk. But if you've emailed some people and they get it, but the email, the way that they're sending it, goes into junk mail.
You got to be, Tony, for that. I've done a lot of research on that. So if you're using what are the main ones? The one with the monkey, MailChimp, and all those kind of things. So I was using an Apple email, which is the free email. So you can use your Gmail, your whatever. And if you associate that with your account, chances are 90% of them are going to go to junk. So for business, what I had to do is I had to pay for an actual business Gmail account. Once I was paying for that email, it's now considered what's a professional email service. And if I use that with MailChimp, then it will work 90% of the time. It'll work. Some of them will go to junk, but that was a big one for me. So if you're using a free email service and then you're using a blast email service, then chances are you're not going to be getting anywhere close to the reception that you want. So that's number one. Number two, I had a problem with Yahoo clients were not receiving my emails at all. I was completely banned and blocked from Yahoo for some reason. Yahoo email service, so at yahoo.com, is the back office to Rogers. So if you have a client that is Tony@Rogers.com, then it's actually yahoo.com, but Rogers is the whatever, the username. So all of my Rogers clients were not getting anything. Yahoo clients were not getting anything. And so I don't know how I did it, but after about a year, I finally found an email for Yahoo and I sent them something saying, how come my people are not receiving their emails? They emailed me back saying, can you prove who you are? Which I did. And then all of a sudden, all my Yahoo clients and Rogers clients were getting the emails again. So once again, right, it's the back office. It's all that crap that you got to deal with. And if you didn't check it, you wouldn't know. So
True.
Once again, the only reason I found out about all of this is phone calls, right? Actually being on the phone with somebody.
I just popped two things in the two links in the chat. It's a subject line checker. And what it does, it remember how you get the words Viagra in the subject line automatically get jammed into spam, and there's a few other things.
I don't get those, Bernie. Why do you get those?
Oh, it's just it's just a very masculine thing,
Sorry, Jacqueline.
But what it does, it checks it, and what it's looking for, it gives you a critique and tells you how to tweak your subject line. Because one of the things that's happening, and you're right, who you're sending it from, where it's coming from, has it been blacklisted? Josh probably can tell you a deeper conversation, but even what you're putting in the subject line, like, if you say free, rush now, buy now, like doing a FOMO, it automatically goes, you're over to the left line, pull over here and get parked. So what it does, it preps it, and even using an icon in the subject line is okay. It's actually good because it's not typical for most of the spammers, apparently, not yet. Anyhow, that just kind of gives you a couple of different ways to check before you launch bulk email, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's what I do with these trade wins. I was watching the blowback coming back from the system. Even if you're using Go High Level, if you attribute it back to a paid for site, like I use Outlook, so I have a Microsoft account, so that helps. If it's kind of generic and free, then yeah, just assuming that you're going to be there for a day or two and then pushing out stuff that's bogus and blah 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 blah.
Okay. Kat, thank you very much for bringing this up. This is obviously a bigger conversation. So anybody that wants to set up a BAM with Kat, I highly recommend it. It's going to be a very well spent time to do that. Okay. So we're just coming up to the top of the hour, folks. So Bernie, if you have the quote for today, that'd be great if you can put that in.
$2.99. No, you are what you do, not what you say. What you'll say you'll do.